Hello, I'm Heather from Here Booktubes, and today is a try a chapter challenge for the Romantasy Readathon. Jan is hosting this, and that's the only host that I know. I'm so sorry to all the other hosts. I have no idea who you are. But I love Jan. Jan's one of those creators where we have a lot of mutuals. We haven't had a lot of interactions, but because of who our mutuals are, I'm like, I love you. You know, we are on the same wavelength over here. So I really like Jan. I watch her videos, and she's helping host this. So it's February. That's Black History Month here in the United States. So Black authors are my priority. However, you and I both know, we know this, that Black authors write in every genre, right? We know this. However, that's not what this TBR is. So this is Try a Chapter Challenge, which I've never done before. But Robin at Paperbacks and Planners just did one of these for something. Oh, I think for like Feb or something, which is Fantasy Romance February. It is not started by people in the United States, so, but, you know, people tend to. You know what? I'm not even gonna get on that hobby horse. But anyhow, this is not romance by Black authors. And I'll tell you why. The entire reason why I decided to try and join this little readathon is I want to knock some of these books off of my TBR. So this is my TBR. This is what I'm going to be doing. These have been languishing on my TBR, okay? I need them to leave. I need to try them, find out if I like them or not, and be done with them. Because I have so many random fancy romances on my TBR. I have not been reading enough. The reason why there's not Black authors on here, or much diversity at all as far as I know, is because those don't tend to languish on my TBR. I tend to pick them up. And yeah, these are not. I have read one of these authors before and gave it 3 stars. So we're going to try a chapter. The first one is Ruthless Villains. I saw this on TikTok. I put it in anticipated releases. The next one is Origins. I want to say also a TikTok. Velvet. This is from the author that I already read. My sister read. Not this one, but the next trilogy, which I was most interested in, but technically these should go in order. So first one was like a novella, so I want to give this one a fair shot. And I might DNF this and just try the trilogy I'm most interested in, because this is a princess and a spymaster, and the next one is a queen and an assassin. So, you know, I'm already intrigued. Then Soul and Darkness. I have had this on my TBR since before it came out. It came out a few years ago. I have taken it off and put it back on, and taken it off and put it back on so many times. We're done with this. I've never tried this book, and we are going to read that first chapter and find out whether I'm interested or not. I cannot do this back and forth anymore. Okay, moving on. Ruin of Roses. I don't know why this is on my TBR. Maybe TikTok? Maybe not. I don't know. Before the Elf Queen, again, one that was on my radar since before its release. My sister read and loved this one because I mentioned it as a release. It does not have Steam, it is more YA. It's like an adult, it's like, the author said it's like YA vibes, but with adult age characters. So we're sketchy, but my sister loved it, so I just really like the cover. Daughter of No Worlds. Again, I have taken this on and off of my TBRs multiple times. Every time I take it off, someone's like, you'll love it. So then I put it back on. We're gonna find out. And then These Hollow Vows. This is maybe YA. I know it's a love triangle, and I know Robin at Paperbacks and Planners, who I've already mentioned once in this video, she loved it and said it was just the tropey goodness that she wanted. So I think everything, maybe except for that one, are on Kindle Unlimited. These Hollow Vows I was able to get from the library. So I have other books that I'm really interested in that are checked out at the library. Can't get my hands on them. So these are the ones that, like, I have got to read them or they've got to go. I'm so tired of seeing them on my fantasy TBR list. obligatory B-roll footage of me reading as expected in this type of challenge. This is the only clip you get. Okay, so I did not quite make it through the first chapter of these Hall of Vows, but she's a thief. She's indebted. Everyone's indebted. She's going to give money for her best friend's daughter. On and on. The Fae are involved somehow, and I'm not reading this right now, at least. If I read it, I'll probably read it in March, because I think it fulfills the buzzword-a-thon thing for March, or maybe April. Not right now, though. Okay. Since finishing the first chapter of Ruin and Roses, I had to get a load of clean laundry, clean dog pee from the carpet. Now let's go make a fort, so no peace. Do you two want to say hello?
What?
Do you two want to say hello to the video?
Okay. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay, so I finished the first chapter of Ruin and Roses. I'm intrigued by this one. We have another break-in as our opening act, but she is the daughter of the cursed king. She's a princess, and she is stealing from her future father-in-law. So she is betrothed to the Mad King's son, and then she is the only human born into a family of witches, but they're cursed, so their magic isn't very strong. So there's this betrothal, and then she used to sleep with the right-hand guy of her magic mentor, and he's gonna be her handler. It's like a love triangle between her ex, who they kind of don't get along, and her fiance. I'm interested. So on to the next one. We're going to try the first chapter of Soul and Darkness. This is a Cupid and Psyche retelling. Okay, so Psyche is beyond beautiful, and everyone just sees her as an object, even her own family, and not as a person, and she just wants to be loved. I know that she's given to Eros as a punishment. I believe he's blind and also maybe half serpent or something like that. She's given to him as a punishment from Venus, I believe, who's jealous of her adoration. So it was a short chapter, so I'm not really sure how I feel about it. And also she's 17 at the opening of this, so a bit icky to watch everyone lust after her. Dang! I just finished the prologue of Battle for the Elf Queen, and that poor mother. Okay, I finished the first chapter, and I'm into it. I'm a little hesitant knowing that there's not really steam, but you know, it's a possibility. So this one is, as a baby, she was tested. She's the first she elf born with magic in centuries or whatever, and she's immediately betrothed to the king's son, and the king's a little bit evil, and her parents basically died so that the king wouldn't get her in the castle and sent her to live with the humans, and she's lived there for the last 24 years. So she has been trained to be the most deadly elf so she can kill the king and his son that is her fated mate because of the magic thingy that they did when she was a baby. Now I'm gonna read Velvet by Lisette Marshall. This is the only author I've tried before. This is The Princess and the Spymaster. All right, I'm into this one. So she is the princess. She has been away at a manners polishing court, finishing school basically, for the last 3 years. And she just got back, and her father, the king, and the Spymaster are both not telling her anything about the political situation one country's trying to make them let them through their pass to attack another country, and then that country is obviously like, don't you do it. So they have politicians from both of those countries there, and they've got armies threatening. And the whole reason why she came home was because they felt that kidnapping her was a good possible way to try and get leverage over the king, so they brought her back to the court. But they're just telling her to sit there and look pretty, and she's not having it. And I'm very into this completely silent, grumpy, taciturn, stoic spymaster, and this princess that is clever and is not going to let them just marry her off and not have any part in the politics of her country. Okay, so on to origins. So she's like a young girl and she has all this power, and they're like Irish or something like that, and her mother, she has two moms and she has a twin, and she has power and she's been told to protect it. And then her father that she's never met before comes and is like, I'm gonna kill your mother and your twin brother unless you give me this portal. So she does, and he says he'll be back for her when she's older. You know, and he like killed a bunch of people and stuff. I have no idea. I'm gonna look what this is about in the synopsis. I'm still confused. She's Fae, she becomes the queen of the Fae. And then he's an angel, and angels are a patriarchal society, I think. And he is the brother of the king, and it's his job to guard her, and she's going to take power. I don't know. Okay. That was a great first chapter. We have two villains. She breaks into his house to try and kill him, but it's a trap for him to try and kill her. They both can kill each other, but then the other one will die, so it's a draw. And the premise, first of all, the cover, so good. The premise of this book is that they're two black mages, evil mages. They hate each other, but they have to work together to defeat the heroes. And I am into it. Okay, I think we only have one more, and that's Daughter of No Worlds. But I'll double check. Okay, so we have, in the prologue, a girl is taken into slavery along with her whole village, but she's special, so she gets taken to be a slave instead of the mines. And then in the first chapter, she's dancing, and she gets enough gold to buy her freedom. And that's all we know. So let me think about it, and I'll come back to you with a ranking. All right, Heather, why are you in a completely different outfit, even though we only saw you 20 minutes ago? Well, someone's child spilled ginger ale all over me in my bed. So, things have happened. All right, so ranking. All right, so I think the one I'm most interested right this second is Velvet, the Princess and the Spymaster. I'm going head to head, even though it's a trilogy. That's a ding, but I think that's still the one I'm the most interested in. Second, which I believe is a standalone, which is a positive, is Ruthless Villains. We have swearing in the first chapter, always a good sign, and I like that they're trying to kill each other and are going to stop trying to kill each other temporarily in order to kill other people. Next one, after that I had Bow Before the Elf Queen. Not necessarily because of the chapter, although that was good, more because of the teasing of the author. I've seen so many promos for this and I just am interested. Next one would be Ruin and Roses. This, I think, was the most interesting of the, like, heisty openings. I'm really into the idea of this princess living a double life. And she's, like, doing blood magic, which is against the rules, and she's doing all sorts of things. And I'm interested in the dynamics that we have going on. Okay, so that's my top 4. So those are the 4 that I may or may not pick up in February. You will have to see my monthly wrap up to find out, because I'm not doing any other content for it. Top one of the bottom 4 is Origins. We have Fae and Angels. Again, I think this is a trilogy. I don't really want to have to read 3 books to get to the HEA, but it was well done. I especially think that if it was not a chapter of when she's a child, I might even be more interested in it. I read a lot of prologues too with these, but I read the first chapter as well. Next is Daughter of No Worlds. I was not that interested in the prologue or chapter, to be perfectly honest with you. But like I said, I've heard things about this one that make me more interested than just the chapter. Then I would say these Hollow Vows. I am already stressed about her living situation, so I'm probably not going to carry on. And I would say the last one is Soul of Darkness. And I think I'm just not interested in... I think I'm not interested. I think I missed my window of opportunity on this one. If you want a Eros and Psyche, or a Cupid and Psyche retelling, it's highly rated, but I think it's gonna be a DNF for me. So I have had several of these on my TBR since before doing my fantasy TBR back in April or May, whenever that was, June, one of those. So a bunch of these were on there. I will probably do some sort of update. I've been doing a pretty good job of knocking those out, whether reading them or not, knocking them off of my TBR. So I think this is good. I've cut my potential TBR in half, and this was a lot of work. This was a lot of work. This has taken me a couple of hours to film. Obviously, I have children and pets, and there have been interruptions, so it wouldn't have taken as long if I did not live in this environment. But, you know, it's of my own making, so what are we gonna do? But yeah, so it's taken me a couple hours, and I don't know. But I keep telling myself that I need to pick up fantasy books just to find out whether I'm reading them or not and get them off my TBR, because they just sit there. But I'm trying to be better about it. I'm finally back in the kind of fantasy groove that I fell out of, and I think that these hold promise. There is definitely no guarantee that I won't DNF these after the first chapter, but I am at least this interested. Alright, this is probably not the most interesting thing you've ever seen. Let me know if you want me to do it again, because otherwise I probably will not. But, you know, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.